Or don't you know?
I'm not sure, Chairperson, but those is correct, Chairperson. Those that could have been those that have been identified as leaders later, only for no notice served.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. Look, sorry,
Mr. The Kota has come to my aid, and perhaps I should put this before you carry on with your question. It looks 265, slide 265, exhibit L.
Now.
Where are they now? Are they in some exhibit room somewhere in some police station, or where are they?
Correct, Chairperson. They are still an exhibit in some of the police stations.
Okay. Now, we were just about to go to 265 where I stopped the Chairperson. You see, before we go there, let me just assist you with something. The only person who was accused, and I'm using that word broadly now, the only person who was accused of any possession of a firearm was Mr. Mzokolo Magidiwana. And he has already testified here to say that, you know, and there's a whole lot of evidence which suggested that it either was a case of mistaken identity or it was planted or whatever, I don't know. But he has denied ever possessing any firearm. But I suppose if these things are in some exhibit room, his fingerprints no doubt will be found. Now,
where are they now? Are they in some exhibit room somewhere in some police station, or where are they?
Correct, Chairperson. They are still an exhibit in some of the police stations.
Okay. Now, we were just about... Can you just accept that?
Chairperson, what I do know also that there are firearms that they were not belonging to those people.
Correct. No.
So what we now, and that is under investigation, is that how could a firearm has taken itself there on the scene? So surely it should have been carried by somebody else.
Yes, but I'm sure even the police don't suggest that it was carried by 259 people.
Correct, Chairperson. As
okay.
I say, it's a matter of investigation.
All right. Now, we can then now go to slide 265. And this is the issue that the Chairperson was talking about. You see, Marikana case 134/08, that's the big case of the 259 arrests. You see that?
Yes, Chairperson,
yes,
I see it.
So let's deal with that. Those 259, according to the police, were arrested for public violence, possession of dangerous weapons, and the Gatherings Act. Does that now refresh your memory? We can then now go to slide 265. And this is the issue that the Chairperson was talking about. You see, Marikana case 134/08, that's the big case of the 259 arrests. Public violence, possession of dangerous weapons, and the Gatherings Act. Does that now refresh your memory?
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, advantage of the fact that you are an expert in evidence gathering, the offense...
The conveners.
Yes. And it's not suggested that these 259 people were conveners, correct?
Correct, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Except if it can be discovered that some of them were actually the conveners.
No, but the conveners in the Act are the people who have actually been recorded as such in terms of such a designation, correct? In fact, nobody had even applied, let alone to have a convener, correct?
Yes, in terms of the Gatherings Act, that is Section 4,
yes.
No one.
No one had
But
applied.
I don't know whether those 5 Madoda couldn't being identified. But that's what I'm saying. If it can be discovered later during investigation, but not at that time, I do agree.
Yeah, no, but McIntosh said the 5 Madoda, they must just call the 5 bravest men, whatever that means.
There are photographs of them and videos of them and so on. Before your videographers, for some reason, decided it was inappropriate to stay on the scene, they seem to have been quite busy taking pictures of people. And I would imagine that there shouldn't be any difficulty at all in identifying the 5 from the various photographs that were taken. But anyway, I don't think we need to worry about that for the moment. That's someone else's problem. Mr. Mpofu may be involved in that problem, but you and I aren't, so we don't have to worry about it.
I can even assist you. None of the 5 Madoda were arrested. One was killed, Mr. Noki. Mr. Nzuza is here. He was not arrested. And the other 3, Mr. Boy and another 2 were not part of the arrest. So let's put that out of the way. So if you accept that, then we would agree that those 259 people were not conveners in any sense, whether de facto, as we were saying, in terms of being 5 Madoda, or having filled some form in terms of the Gatherings Act, correct?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. And the issue of dangerous weapons we've already dealt with. To your knowledge, no weapon was linked to any specific person, but you say it might be that someone else has got that information, correct?
Yes, Chairperson.
And when it comes to public violence, you and I will agree, as you and I are both experts in criminal law, that that crime is done in the public, correct? In the public, correct?
I don't know that we can get involved in
that
criminal
debate.
law aspects.
Okay.
If your clients are ultimately prosecuted, or if the prosecution continues to plea stage and beyond, then these matters will be ventilated. It's not a matter
Well,
of us.
Chairperson, I'm sorry, that's true, but maybe I misunderstood. I thought the definition of phase 1 is, I'll get the document, deals exactly with the issue. If I'll paraphrase, it says whether or not the persons were arrested were in fact liable for any criminal offense. I'm paraphrasing, but that's it might also happen in the criminal case. But I thought here,
obviously, the nature of our investigation, you're correct, but the nature of our investigation would obviously be far different from that will take place in the criminal trial if it proceeds.
No, of course. No, agreed. Thank you, Chairperson. But, okay, let me put it this way then, because I don't, Chairperson is right. I don't
my
have
point
to...
is, if this witness can't deal with it from his own knowledge,
Yes.
to call in aid his knowledge of criminal law is not an appropriate way of doing it.
No, fair enough.
Because you will give us the benefit of your submissions on the law in due course.
At the time. Thank you. No, fair enough, Chairperson. Then all I can ask you is, you agree that these people, these 259 people, were arrested at a copy which is behind the main copy, somewhere in the veld, correct?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Is that correct? Weren't some of the people who were arrested, who are your clients, in fact, were wounded, were taken to hospital? Some of them were arrested in hospital.
Yeah.
Some of them were, I'm not sure if they were arrested, but they came into the custody of the police while they were at scene 1 even. But the majority of them were, as you say, arrested at
Yes.
scene 2 or in the vicinity thereof.
Yes, but no, Chairperson, unfortunately, no, all the ones that I'm referring to. That's why I framed the question that way. When I said the 259, it's true that the actual number now is 272 because that is a addition of the 259 plus those who were later arrested. So I'm confining it to the people who are arrested at the veld, in the veld.
So I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I should have appreciated that I didn't. I'm sorry, but please proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yeah. General, before we get to the next big topic, which hopefully is the only big topic, I just want to round up a few loose ends before we get to the topic, which might be our last topic. Just for clarity, when you were answering one of Mr. Chaskelson's questions yesterday, you said, and I was just checking my notes, you said that the encirclement that was envisaged was not going to be done with barbed wire, but with nyalas. Am I not misquoting you?
Definitely misquoting.
Okay, what did you say was going to be done with nyalas?
No, it was said by Advocate Chakelson. Then I said I was not in any meeting where an encirclement was going to be done by nyalas.
Okay, no, fine. Then
But,
it's my
but
mistake.
what I did say, encirclement of Advocate Chakelson was encirclement of the copy by nyalas. But what I did say is that the encirclement that we envisage on that day, it was when the people have been
Broken into small groups.
yes,
Yeah.
then that could be encirclement and that could be done by nyalas, but not the copy.
All right, no, fair enough. Okay, so only the encirclement of the small groups was envisaged to be done by nyalas, or with nyalas, correct?
Correct, Chairperson, but nyalas that do have members that we will be actually now also communicating to that small number of group to drop weapons and
Yes,
so.
no,
Yes.
fair enough. So, if that was envisaged, then how many nyalas do you think would circle one small group?
It could be 2 to 3 nyalas. It will depend in terms of the group that they will, because we were saying the group that could be, it was not going to be a more than even 10 people. Yes.
Yes. Well, that's exactly my worry. If we had groups, if you had 3,000 people and had groups of 10, then you'd have about 300 groups, correct?
No, Chairperson, we were not envisaging to encircle 3,000 people.
Okay, if it was half of the crowd, then it would be 150 groups, correct?
We were not even thinking of 1,000 that will remain behind. We were thinking a very small group that will remain behind. And to be precise, we were only looking at the militant group, even to use the word, but not as 3,000 or 2,000, no.
Okay, even group was estimated at about, what, 400, 500?
We were estimating it between 2 to 300.
Okay, so you'd have 30 groups then, and you'd need about 90 nyalas to encircle them into groups of 10, correct?
Chairperson, the majority of the people could have dropped their weapons, and they were already dropping their weapons. But our argument was that it's only those that few that we were targeting, not 3,000 people.
Okay. All right, but if they didn't, then you'd have needed 90 nyalas to encircle them, correct?
No, Chairperson, I think the nyalas that were there, they were enough to do the work.
All right. Okay, but let's just agree on one thing. You didn't have 90 nyalas there on the day, correct?
Yes, not 90, but there were more nyalas there, even though one could
That's
just go through it, but there were more nyalas that could have done the work.
All right. Okay, then, in fact, that's what sparked this question. It's when you said, when I was criticizing about the use of the oryx, you then said that was a decision taken at NatJoc level. Can I therefore take it that the decisions, generally speaking, and I'm not saying you didn't take the decisions at your level, but generally speaking, what one might call the deployment decisions of national human resources, and I suppose also material resources, were taken at NetJoc level.
Chairperson, my answer should be interpreted as such that the province will only require the resources.
Yes.
But the type of resources and the availability of resources, that will be made by NetJoc.
Correct. Good. So then one can say that the decisions on deployment, that's what I'm saying, on deployment of personnel and also equipment such as the Oryx, those decisions were taken at NetJoc level.
Chairperson, the request might have been done by the province, but for, say, the Oryx should come, that decision is taken at
Yes.
At NetJoc, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean by deployment, the actual deployment. I don't mean when it gets there, how you use it is obviously your decision. But the initial deployment, maybe we should call it that, is done at NetJoc, correct?
May I just repeat?
Explain, yes.
I don't deny that the province might have done a request to NetJoc. Okay.
But the actual deployment was done by NetJoc.
Correct, Chairperson.
Thank you. Apart from those deployment decisions, are you aware of any other decisions which were taken by NetJoc?
No, Chairperson. We were only giving NetJoc feedback.
And you don't know what they would do with that feedback. I mean, you obviously wouldn't have access to their minutes of how they utilized the information that you gave to them.
No, Chairperson, it's up to NetJoc.
Yes. Have you ever sat in a NetJoc meeting, either as a guest of some sort? I mean, do you know what it looks like?
Yes, Chairperson, on the matters that concerns the province.
Yes, and are NetJoc meetings, formal meetings with minutes and the chairperson and that? Apart from those deployment decisions, are you aware of any other decisions which were taken by NetJoc regarding this operation?
No, Chairperson, we were only giving NetJoc feedback.
And you don't know what they would do with that feedback. I mean, you obviously wouldn't have access to their minutes of how they utilized the information that you gave to them.
No, Chairperson, it's up to NetJoc.
Yes. Have you ever sat in a NetJoc meeting, either as a guest of some sort? I mean, do you know what it looks like?
Yes, Chairperson, on the matters that concerns the province.
Yes, and are NetJoc meetings, formal meetings with minutes and the chairperson and that kind of thing?
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you. Right. Then there's been evidence, it's common cause by now, I think, but that stage 6 was conducted in September. Did you take part in the stage 6 operation, which was the raids that were done in the hostels and in the township in September, a couple of weeks or about a month after the massacre?
No, Chairperson, that was the time when I was at Brett's during that IPIT issue.
Okay, all right.
It was the time when I was at Brett's during that IPIT issue.
Okay, all right. It was the time of the IPIT issue. Okay, all right, so you can't help us with stage 6. Forgive me if this is repetition. I suspect it is because I think Mr. Chaskalson asked you. But were you aware or unaware of the fact that there were mortuary vans for this operation?
Not aware and have no knowledge of it.
Yes. Well, should you have been aware of such an important thing as overall commander, in your view?
I just want to get clarity. May I now be called to speculate?
No. Sorry, General. I'm not criticizing you. I'm accepting that someone else took that decision. All I'm saying is that should you have been made aware, maybe I should put it lighter like that, of such an important decision? In your capacity as overall commander.
Am I expected to comment what should I have done, or?
No, just answer the question.
What he wants to know is, we know that as overall commander, you couldn't be involved in every detail of the operation. And we know that people who were who were subordinate to you were doing things, as it were, on your behalf, without having to tell you everything. But there was, Mr. Mpofu's point, I think, is certain things were were important enough to not only justify but necessitate the overall commander being told about them so he wouldn't have the relevant knowledge. That's your point, isn't it, Mr. Mpofu?
That's all, Chairperson. Yes.
Okay, now I take it you'd agree with that. Now what he wants to know, do you agree with that? There were some things that you as overall commander should have been told and your subordinates shouldn't have done them on their own without telling you about them. Would you accept that?
Yes, Chairperson.
Right. Now what Mr. Mpofu says is this request for mortuary vans to be on standby, to be sent to Marikana, was that something that was sufficiently important to have been brought to your attention?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. Now, then we'll just go to something else, another small issue. Okay, this one I didn't raise it with you. I think I raised it with Colonel Scott. If you can just go to, oh no, before you go there. Is it correct, as Colonel Scott told us, that what was known as the neutral area or the safe area was a defined static place? In other words, it was not something that was mutable or that moved from place to place. There was a place with measurements. I think some of the measurements are even given here somewhere, and the coordinates. There was a place known as the neutral area, correct?
Chairperson, in my understanding, it is the place where the police were and where the media could have been, but
Yes.
not necessarily that it could be a structure. Yes, I see the white lines
And black lines, yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Now, the reason I'm asking you this, General, really, and I'm not going to spend time, is because I've asked this question from two police witnesses, and I got two different answers. So just for my own understanding. If you look at the area, and I've defined it, forgive me, as a horseshoe, the area that's defined by those nyalas where it is 80 meters from the crowd, and to the north it is about 50 meters from the crawl. The area defined by the yellow lines. You see that?
Yes, I do see.
Well, the area isn't actually defined by the yellow lines, but I take it what you mean is you're referring to the horseshoe,
Yeah.
which was effectively created by the vehicles which are parked there.
That's correct.
And the yellow line marked 50 meters points to the bottom left-hand corner of the horseshoe.
Those nyalas were...
Correct, Chairperson.
Now, Mr. Mpofu
by
wants to ask you about
vehicles.
that.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, the question I want to ask is, that was the neutral area, correct? Inside that horseshoe.
Chairperson, I'm not in a position to confirm it.
You can't. Okay.
Yes.
No, fair enough. Okay, then maybe you can just answer this. Generally speaking, would you agree that the neutral area is an area where civilians are not allowed except with the permission of the police? In other words, you can't just walk up and down in the neutral area. If you wanted to bring journalists, that's a different matter. You wanted to bring them to protect them. But they couldn't just wander about in the neutral area. That's a police-controlled area, correct?
I just want to understand civilians, because media normally is civilians.
Yes, that's why I made that explanation, General. I'm saying, generally speaking, the neutral area is a police-controlled area, which is not accessible to civilians. Obviously, if the police want to bring in a particular type of civilian because they want to protect them, that's a different matter. That's why I'm saying, generally speaking, it's a police-controlled area. I couldn't just go and wander about there myself, being not a journalist. Agreed?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
I just want to
Maybe I can ask you this. You did watch some of the goings on near the copy from the CCTV area, even if you are not there, or rather, from the CCTV at the JOC, even if you are not on the ground, correct?
on the 16th, Chairperson?
Yes, on the 16th.
On the 16th, not having watched them. I didn't have that time.
Okay, on other days then, when you watched the CCTV, can you confirm that in front of the crawl, scattered, if you look, I don't know which one you're using. Okay, if you look at the one in front of you, well, my eyes can't see that far. But on the 16th and on any other day, that is the road that people were using to go towards and from the copy, correct?
I'm not sure that you defined the road with sufficient accuracy
Yes.
for us to follow what you mean.
Fair enough.
Perhaps you can define it more accurately,
Yes.
and then the witness can give us an answer that we
Thank you,
understand.
Chairperson. You see, you remember the line, the 50-meter line that we spoke about earlier?
The one that is next to 80 meters.
Do you mean the 50-meter line with
Oh,
a
the-
yellow arrowhead at each end?
Yes.
Mr. Mpofu?
Yeah, I do, Chairperson, but I'm trying to operate the pointer at the same time.
Isn't it the road?
Earlier.
Do you mean the 50-meter line with
Oh,
a
the-
yellow arrowhead at each end?
Yes.
Mr. Mpofu?
Yeah, I do, Chairperson, but I'm trying to operate the pointer at the same time.
Isn't it the road that runs parallel to the 80-meter white arrow?
Yes.
Isn't that
Is it not working?
There seem to be two main roads. The one is the one which runs more or less parallel to the white arrow, which is crossed by the 80-meter arrow line.
Yes. Thank you.
That is in fact running immediately in front of what looks like a mass group of people.
Yes.
More or less in the vicinity of would be the western arrowhead of that line.
Yeah, I'm pointing.
Then there's another road which runs the extreme left-hand corner of the picture, and the 50-meter line, yellow line with yellow arrowheads. It would be the northern. The northern arrowhead is very close to the kraal,
That's
the extreme
correct.
left-hand corner.
Thank you,
Now,
Chairperson.
are you referring to that road, that path, or the earlier one I mentioned, which is and which Advocate Hemraj mentioned, which is more or less parallel to the long white line?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson.
Which of the two?
Is the second, the one I'm talking to, this one, this row. That was copy, correct?
They were also using other roads, not only that one.
I know, General. They didn't all come from the same place. I'm saying, was that the road that was mainly used by people from Kaneng who were going up and down to the Kopi?
I say,
They all come from the same place. I'm saying, was that the road that was mainly used by people from Kaneng who were going up and down to the Kopi?
I say it's one of them, but they were also using many roads coming to the Kopi.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mpofu, I'm sorry, you know, you've pointed out with the pointer, so we can see here.
Yeah.
But when we come to read the record, and others read the record later, I'm not sure they know what you're talking about. So I described two roads, the one parallel to the white line, more or less parallel to the white line, and the other one, which is actually parallel to the white line, which is 80 meters long. But that's the shortest way to describe it. And that one is the one that goes, if one looks at it from traveling from west to east, as it were, that goes to the corner of that kraal in the corner there.
That's
now, let's call the one that's parallel to the 80-meter white line road A, and let's call the road that's parallel to the 330-meter white line road B.
Road
I
B.
think you're talking about road A, am I correct?
Well, now I'm...
The
yes, correct, Chairperson. I'm talking about the road that runs in front of the kraal.
That's right. The one that is parallel to the white line, which is marked 80 meters.
Yes, the shorter...
That's right.
yes,
Okay.
the white line.
Now,
the only, actually,
now
it's the only
those
white line. Yeah.
people whose misfortune will be to have to read the record in future will understand what you're talking about. Right?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Okay, General, I don't want to make a big thing about this. Can we then just accept it on this basis? Although that road that we've just defined was one of the roads that was used by people over those days to go to and from the Kopi, correct?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. And that road was also used by the people that were defined to radios and sharing the joke and so on. Would it be fair to say that to some extent this was a joint operation between the police and lawnmen?
No, Chair, there's no basis for that question. There was never a joint operation between SABC and lawnmen.
You can't object. He's asked a question, which is either
The witness can say
the
no.
witness will answer. You can't answer it for him. We suggest an answer before he answers it. He asked whether it's a joint operation. The answer is either yes or no. You can't say from Lonman's perspective what they think the answer to be. If he asks the same question of the Lonman witnesses, they presumably will give their answer. But Mr. Mpofu, please proceed.
Yeah. General, just to repeat the question, would it be fair, given some of the indicators that you and I have discussed, and I don't want to go through all of them because I'm sure you remember some of them, would it be fair to say that to some extent this was a joint operation between the police and lawnmen?
It would, I would say lawnman was one of the role players.
Okay, thank you. That's enough.
Does that mean that you do not accept that the operation, despite the fact that they'd contributed some of the things that were used in it, you do not accept that the operation can be described as a joint operation between the police on the one hand and Lonman on the other? Is that what you were saying?
Correct, Chairperson, because we were not issuing instructions on the same basis. They were posting there, we were posting differently. But Lonman was one of the role players because as the employer, we had to work with them.
Yeah, no, I understand. So when they were posting their armed men, they would post them at different places, but you would know where they were posting them, correct?
Yes, then they will just come and tell us that they have posted there. But that is the normal posting that they were doing, even the police were not there.
Right. And of course, they would have to know where you were posting your armed men, you know where they're posting their armed men. To that extent, you are working together.
No, Chairperson, we were not reporting to anybody. And I remember vividly well that there was a time where even General Annandale chased Lonmin people out in our job. I'm not sure knowing precisely the date, but I do know there was a time where they wanted to give us some feedback. General Annandale said that we are still busy.
Yes.
Go and stand outside.
Yeah. General, yeah, please bear with me. The reason why I ask these questions so carefully is because I accept some of what you're saying. Let me explain what I'm saying. I accept that. That's why I use the words to a certain extent. I accept that there were times at which the police might have done things and did not want anyone else to be there. That I accept. I accept too that for you to do your deployments, you did not need Lonmin's permission as a police force or a police service. That I also accept. All I'm saying is that to the extent that there was sharing of information on over the radio, to the extent that there was sharing of the logistics, there was buying of barbed wire for each other, to the extent...
There was no buying of barbed wire.
There was buying of barbed wire for each other.
Okay.
That's the first point. The second point is, you will recall yesterday the witness didn't know anything about the barbed wire.
All right.
So I don't know that he can help us.
Okay, fine. To
So,
the extent
Shirley,
that...
do you want to raise any other objections apart from the two I raised?
No, Chair.
Thank you. To the extent that Mr. Portes says that he was permanently posted in the JOC, and when he was not there, he would make sure that someone else is there in his place. To the extent that Mr. Portes attended the JOCOM meeting in the morning of the 16th, those kinds of things. I'm saying to some extent. Would you agree that to some extent this was an operation which was being jointly managed or controlled by the SABS and Lonmin? And also, sorry, to the extent that SABS advised Lonmin to seek an interdict, according to one of the affidavits. Those kinds of indicia that I'm interested in. So to that limited extent, would you then accept my proposition?
No, Chairperson, except that Lonmin was a role player, like any other role player.
Like the strikers. So you mean your relationship and partnership with Lonmin was the same as the partnership you had with the strikers?
Do you want I should equate it to that one?
Yes, yeah, I want you to compare it.
I could say yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But particularly as far as I'm concerned and the role that I played.
Yeah, sure. No, fine. And Lonmin also assisted you to identify some of the protesters, correct?
Correct, Chairperson, because Lonmin was the employer and they were employees, and the reason why I confronted Lonmin about that, because they told us that those were faceless people.
Yeah, no, but after that, they assisted you in identifying, once they now had faces, did they help you to identify some of the protesters?
The assistance that we needed, we wanted to say, now that these people are your employees, tell us who are they, because you do have records.
Okay. Now I'm talking about something different. Do you remember Lonmin people saying to you, we're going to assist you to identify some of the protesters, but please don't let this be known? Yeah?
Correct, Chairperson. That was the fear that was all over there with everybody, but not only necessarily with Lonmin, but the fear that was there. People didn't know, didn't want to be seen as assisting the police.
Yes, I know they didn't want to be seen, but I'm saying they did
And
assist
also
the
to be
police.
known, I'm sorry, Chairperson.
Sorry, General. Oh, sorry, I cut you. You can finish.
Carry on. Carry on with your answer.
The fear that was there, no any other person wanted to be associated with the police, including, even if you would have more, let's say, airtime or whatever, they didn't want, because they knew that that could construe that you are having a relationship with the police. That was my understanding when Lonmin raised the issues, because the individuals, Lonmin management that was staying there, they were fearing that they might be the target.
Yeah, but you did not feel it necessary to remark about those other individuals to the commission. Unlike what you said in paragraph 29 of your triple G12, you say
I
there.
have it, Chairperson.
Sorry.
It's the footer page 14 of the statement.
Correct, Chairperson, I do have it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll read it out to you. Firstly, it talks about the morning of the 14th. So this is after the faceless story. That happened on the 13th, the faceless allegations, correct?
Correct, Chairperson.
So this is a separate thing. On the 14th, you say, Captain Mulman, Colonel Bernard Heineke, and I once again attended to the mine management offices and requested a meeting with Mr. A.B. Khotle, Mr. Jomo Kwadi, Mr. Patrick Pecha, Mr. Puna Prinsloo. At the meeting, they agreed that Lonmin would assist with the identification of the protesters at the copy. They requested, however, that the company would prefer that the fact that they were assisting SABC not be revealed to the union for the safety of those we were engaging with at managerial level. I gave them the assurance that I would not identify them. Remember that?
Yes, I see it and I remember it, Chairperson.
Thank you.
My explanation, Chairperson, is that saying that they did not want anybody should know that they are assisting for the purpose of their lives, because they feel that their lives, that might put their lives in danger.
Yeah, but they could have put their life in danger by not working with you. I mean, they could have saved their lives. But they decided that they were going to assist you, but you mustn't reveal it. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you.
With the reason given.
Yes. Then, General, am I correct that what I'd call the hierarchy, the pecking order at operational level, let's exclude the National Commissioner for now, would be the Provincial Commissioner, yourself, and General Annandale. There's a bit of a gray area there, but for now, let's say yourself and General Annandale, and then the operational commander, and then the architect, the planner, the chief planner, and then other people like General Naidu, and so on. Those would be that would be the top structure, correct?
Chairperson, excluding the Provincial Commissioner. Provincial Commissioner is not part of the structure, but we were reporting to her as she was in charge of the province. But the whole JOCOM, yes, Chairperson.
Yeah, but if she was there, then she would obviously go to the top of the food chain, correct?
No, Chairperson. I don't understand the food chain. Maybe
No.
is to give instructions or what?
That's an inappropriate metaphor. Perhaps you can find a more appropriate one.
Yes, maybe.
Apply the doctrine of
let's stick to
situational
pecking order.
Apply the doctrine of situational appropriateness to your metaphor.
That's correct. Let's talk about the pecking order. Let's stick to that phraseology. If she was there, she would be on top of the pecking order or the hierarchy.
No, Chairperson.
She would be at the bottom.
She doesn't actually appear in the structure of the operation. She's not there completely.
Okay, well, can you go to Exhibit EE? Have you got it? Or you can use that one.
Yes, I don't have it here,
Okay.
but you can.
I'm coming.
I'm ready, Chairperson.
Yes, okay. Yeah, now I was just saying that insofar, that's why I was saying when she was there. When she was there, then would the pecking order be as indicated there, those first three names? It's General Mbombo, General Anandale, and then you.
No, Chairperson. That is only the acknowledgement in terms of the attendance list. But what I'm talking about, Chairperson, it is found in my statement. That's G12, page 3. That's paragraph 7, the jock structure.
I know about the chalk. That's not what I'm not asking you about the chalk structure. I'm saying when the provincial commissioner was in attendance as part of the operation or meetings to do with the operation, the pecking order would be her and you and Annandale and the other people who reported to you, correct?
Not necessarily, Chairperson. As I'm saying, this attendance list has no meaning in terms of the structure. But what I'm saying is that General Mbombo has appointed me as a CJOC. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she cannot ask General Edendale or General Naidu about anything. But as a CJOC person, yes.
Yeah. No, General, okay. I think the problem is you are anticipating my question. I'm not going to ask you why she gave the instruction to Annandale or not you, because I see that's where you're going. All I'm saying is when if she's there and you're looking at this operation broadly speaking, would you agree that she would be the big chief, she'd be the person who could give instructions to you or anybody, and then the next in line would be you, then the next in line would be Annandale, then the next in line would be the operational commander, and then all these other people I mentioned. That would be, this, not that it's something written somewhere, I'm just saying that would be the hierarchy.
Oh, yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to argue that, and I want to give you a chance to comment, that it is curious, to say the least, that when the massacre next to the kraal happened, none of those people were there or are able to assist the commission.
What do you mean they weren't there? You mean they weren't at the kraal, or they weren't at the jock? Or what do you mean by there?
Thank you. Yes. No, fair enough, Chairperson. None of them witnessed that massacre. Neither the provincial commissioner, neither you or Annandale or Khalid or Naidu or Scott. Would you care to comment?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, is it my colleague's proposition that the persons senior officers referred to should have been at the scene.
Sounds like it. Is that correct, Mr. Mpembe?
That's correct, Chairperson.
Well, that's your proposition that you're putting to the witness. Well,
Yes,
well, in due course, you'll give him a chance to comment as to whether he agrees with you.
Oh, whether it's a good proposition or a
Yeah,
bad one,
yeah.
yes.
No, Chairperson. In terms of the roles that we were playing different roles. Even Scott was not expected to be there, but there were commanders that were there. So none of us were expected to be there. General Naidu, he was in charge of the forward holding area 1. So what was expected to him is that in case if anything happens, he was expected to take or even to supply some extra resources that were there with him. But to be on the scene, but attending the other scene, that's also a different issue which I have already explained.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about scene 1. None of the people that I've mentioned witnessed scene 1 to your knowledge, correct?
Yes, Chairperson. But they were not supposed to be there.
Fine. And these were the people who presumably briefed the National Commissioner and the President about the massacre, correct?
I don't know about that. Isn't the evidence that the witness has given us that not these people so much, but it was Lieutenant Colonel Scott who gave the briefing who gave the briefing to the President in respect of what happened on the 16th, and the witness gave the briefing in respect to what happened on the 13th. Is that correct?
Correct, Chairperson.
Do you know whether any of the other people to whom Mr. Mpofu referred also took part in the briefing session with the President?
No, Chairperson, but what I do know is that what Colonel Scott said there, it was prepared by the JOC, which consists of the people that were there.
So did he act in effect as the spokesman for the JOC in briefing the President
Precisely,
as to what happened
Chairperson.
on the 16th of August? Is that correct?
Yes, Chairperson.
So neither the President nor the National Commissioner was briefed directly by anyone who had witnessed the massacre, correct?
Sounds right, Mr. General, doesn't it?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. You remember yesterday I was criticizing you about...
Moving on to another point.
yes, Chairperson.
I'd like to ask a question. I understand that what was envisaged and planned wasn't what actually happened at scene 1, but what was envisaged was that once the neutral area was separated from the area near the Kopi by the barbed wire fence, which was being unrolled, then the members of the service, the POP people, followed by the TRT people, were going to go into the area to the west of the barbed wire barrier to proceed with the dispersal and disarmament operation. That's correct?
Correct, Chairperson. Take into account that TRT there at 100 meters.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Now, when that operation was taking place, was it still envisaged that the people in Majok were going to stay in Majok? So would they still have been in Majok if the dispersal and disarmament operation had begun on schedule as was envisaged? Would the people in Majok still have been in Majok?
Correct, Chairperson.
So what was it envisaged they would be doing in Majok?
It is to, when they get feedback, also to understand what is the progress of the operation.
What would they have done about the feedback that they got? What was it envisaged? I know it's a hypothetical question, but you say they would have received feedback about what was happening, how the operation was proceeding. Now, what was it envisaged would the people in Majok do, or what might they do, in response to the feedback which it was thought that they would receive? Were they going to do anything about it, or were they just going to listen to it, or what was going to happen?
Chairperson, it will depend on the feedback that they will get, but it is that they will give guidance based on the feedback that they get. And
thank you, General. Now, just to tie up on another loose end that came from another loose end. You just spoke now about the postings that were done separately by the police and lawnmen. You remember that?
yes, Chairperson.
And if you go to slide H 60.1, rather, I'm sorry, exhibit, thank you. Exhibit 60, H 60.1.
Triple H 60. I don't have it here. Maybe it could be.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to come by. Maybe we'll rely on the one.
The question again, please, Mr. Mpofu.
I was just saying, referring the witness to Triple H 60.1 at this stage, Chairperson. Oh, the question before that was whether he remembers us discussing the issue of postings, and he said yes.
Exhibit.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, I'm just referring to it because it talks about the postings that you're talking about. You see that it says mining security posting, 16th August 2012.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing because I think you discussed it with Ms. Pants. But all I'm saying is that this reflected some of the postings literally, both in terms of vehicles and equipment and arms, which were distributed to lawnmen security. Do you understand it in the same way?
Correct, Chairperson.
Right. Now, the real point that I'm getting to is this. It is true, isn't it, that the police equipment, unlike the lawnman equipment, did not include shotguns, correct? Putting aside the rubber bullet thing.
You mean shotguns from which pellets would be fired,
as opposed to rubber bullets.
Rubber
yes,
bullets.
That's correct.
I did say the police do not use pellets.
Yes. Now, what I really want to know is, if you look at that heading, mining security posting 16th August 2012, to your knowledge, were any of those people posted at the main operation or near the copies?
No, not to my knowledge. I don't know what might have happened there.
Yes.
But to my knowledge, they were not posted with the police too.
Do you know what those postings mean? You see S1, S3, O5, TR2, D1, and so on. Do you know what they mean?
No, I don't know,
So
Chairperson.
that's something we'll have to find out from the lawnman witnesses
Correct.
when they come.
Fair enough. Yes. That's why I was asking what is to your knowledge. So you say it's possible that they might have been posted there, but you didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yes. Okay. Now, the reason why this is of some interest, and the chairperson is right, it will be explored more fully when the lawnmen people come. But for your purposes, can I refer you to or is it? Or is it not? Oh, it's new. We left it there yesterday, I think, Chairperson. It's just a one-pager.
Just the shotgun
Yes,
victims,
that's
the 9
correct.
shotgun victims.
Shotgun victims, yes. I know that it's
Not
true.
sure that did I give it an exhibit number? I don't remember giving. Sorry, I don't remember giving an exhibit
No,
number.
it was not,
But we
Chairperson.
were handed a document which hasn't yet been dealt
That's
with.
correct, Chairperson. It's my mistake. It
Okay.
was just a
All right.
reserved
Well,
number.
Let's sort it out now. Triple H,
63. It was a reserved number.
list of shotgun victims.
Yes, that's correct, Chairperson. It was a reserved number which we got from Ms. Pillay.
Yes.
General, you've got it? It's a one page. I think
Yeah.
I gave it to
Okay.
your.
List of shotgun victims from 1/8/12 to
16.
16/8/12. Right?
Yes. Sorry, General. I gave it to your representatives last week, but it's probably just didn't find its way to you. But it's not a train smash.
I did receive it. I was told I'd put it a while, but I did.
You just mislaid it.
Yes.
No, there's a copy coming to you now. No, there's a copy, Commissioner. Thanks. Okay, General, once again, as I say, I don't want to waste your time too much on this. It's simply to say that is a list which we have compiled with the assistance of the evidence leaders, which is probably not complete because it's ongoing work. But that is a list to date, let's call it that. It's a list to date of people who, according to the postmortems and those kinds of things, those types of medical reports, let's use a generic term, who sustained or died from shotgun injuries. The two people who died are at the bottom of the list, number 8 and number 9, Mr. Bongani Mdze and Mr. Bonginkosi Yona. And those who were injured with shotguns, we include the people that I represent. We'll start from number 4, Kosipendulo Fantiso, Mr. Zolinzima Tikimana. Number 6, Mr. Mfane Leko Hlungulwana. And number 7, Mr. Puka Ramapapu. So for now, and that's why I was name dropping the name of the evidence leaders. So you can accept that this is a list that is compiled from the medical records by ourselves with the assistance of the evidence leaders. So for now, you must just accept that it is so. Your legal representatives might find that we made it up or whatever. But for the purposes of this question, can you accept that those are people who are indicated medically to have either died or injured from shotgun pellets, correct?
Yes, Chairperson, I cannot dispute it.
Okay. Thank you. Now, and all I can ask for you is a comment. If you accept my assurances that this is what the medical evidence says, and if we also accept your evidence that the police did not use pellets, who do you think killed or injured these people?
I don't know, Chairperson.
Any guesses?
With
Difficult for me to
sorry,
guess,
Mr. Chairman, it's
Chairperson.
not for the witness to guess, with due respect.
It's okay.
He says he can't guess, so the point falls away. So we don't have to spend half an hour arguing whether he can guess. He's already told us he
But
can't.
Mr. Chairman, with
No,
due
your
respect, it's
point's
not.
taken.
We are not dealing with a guessing game here, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll leave it at that, General.
Guess wouldn't help us, would it?
Yeah, it won't, not at this stage. We'll canvass it. We've got some guesses, so we'll canvass it with those people that.
At some stage, will you make some reference to the location of these injuries caused by the shotgun?
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. That's why I was saying it's ongoing work. When the time comes, we'll refer you to all the postmortems, all the injuries, where the people were, I think the dates of death are already there, and we'll give a proper analysis, Commissioner. Thanks.
Without guessing, perhaps we can look at this matter that Mr. Mpofu has touched on in a more focused way. the people who participated in the shootings on the 16th were by and large members of the police service. Is that correct?
Correct, Chairperson.
And you say they weren't equipped with shotguns which fired pellets. Right.
Correct, Chairperson.
Now, on this list that Mr. Mpofu has thoughtfully provided us, Exhibit 88863, there are two deceased people, numbers 8 and 9 on the list, Bongani Mzi and Bongenkosi Yona. Now, in due course, presumably, we will be reminded where their bodies were found. But they both died, and it is said that they were shotgun victims. So, if they weren't shot by the police because the police didn't have shotguns with pellets, they were obviously shot by somebody else. Now, do you know anybody else, or any other persons, who were involved in the operations, who, to your knowledge, were in a position to fire weapons of some kind? It was only police, when I used the phrase by and large earlier, who were involved in the shootings. Are you aware of anybody else or any other persons who were involved in the operations and might have shot, taken part in the shootings in the sense that they might have shot firearms during the operation?
Chairperson, as I said, I don't know that, to my knowledge, the securities were not posted there. And also, I don't know whether they might have gone there. The only thing that I do remember is that I don't know what type of firearms that were taken from the securities by the strikers. Whether they were shotguns or whether, I don't remember.
You're suggesting that these two people might have in fact been shot, if they were strikers, might have been shot by some of their own people, presumably by accident, but nevertheless they may have been shot by them. Is that what you're suggesting is a possibility which merits consideration?
Only if, Chairperson, it could be discovered that one of the security shotguns, they were taken by strikers, and that the securities were not posted there. They or didn't come there at any time.
All right, thank you. Now the only reason I think I'd like to take the German in a moment, but before we do that, what we were given in Exhibit H 60.1 was this list of postings, and then on the second page, 60.2, there are enlargements of some of the names that appear on 60.1. And the enlargements relate to two people who are obviously employees of London. They are listed against the number 15 at the foot of the page, and Mr. P.W. Botha and Mr. Kellerman. Now it appears, I think I'm correct in saying, that they were either at or from, or linked to in some way, Western Platinum, because next to their names are the letters WPL. But above their names are the following, and these are enlarged in the photographs 60.2. One is, against Botha, is 9 millimeters and, quote, 1 by, multiplied by SG, close quotes, bracket shotgun. And the case Kellerman, there's an entry, Kellerman 9 millimeters, 1 by SG, that's shotgun, and LM5. Do you know where Mr. Botha and Mr. Kellerman were on the 16th? Were they together with the police or in a position to fire shotguns in the direction of the strikers?
No, Chairperson.
So in other words, there are a couple of possibilities we'll have to look at. One is the possibility that these shotgun victims were killed by strikers with shotguns, if it can be shown that the strikers, some of them, were in possession of shotguns. That's one possibility. The other possibility that we obviously have to look at is these two gentlemen, Messrs. Botha and Kellerman, to see what they did, if they did anything with their shotguns. But that's a matter you can't help us on.
Yes, Chairperson.
Well, on that note, we'll take tea. Commission resumes. Major General, you're still under oath.
Yes, thanks,
Mr.
Chairperson.
Mpofu.
Thank you, Chairperson. General, maybe Chairperson, just for a good arrangement, maybe I should, I'm going to refer to a slide, a picture actually, which might require a warning. So I think that's rather.
I'm informed by Mr. Mpofu that he is going to cause to be shown on the screen a picture of one of the people, of someone, some people, I'm not sure which, who were killed on the 16th of August at Marikana. If members of the family of the persons who were killed are present in the chamber, this picture may well cause them distress and suffering if they see it. So I will request the operator who's going to show the picture not to show it until a minute has elapsed after I have finished speaking. Half a minute has elapsed, but I see no one is making any, giving any indication of a desire to leave, so I suppose we can now proceed. Mr. Mpofu, shall we now proceed? People are now coming in who weren't here when the warning was given. Does that mean we have to repeat it?
All right, Chairperson.
Well, I think we should. I mean, I don't want...
No, absolutely. What I'll do then, Chairperson, is to... let me just ask a couple of questions.
Well, let me repeat the warning. Since I last spoke, a number of people have come into the chamber. They haven't got earphones on, of course, so it's not being interpreted. Mr. Korte, would you be kind enough to say, to repeating also, what I've said a few minutes ago, or perhaps Mr. Korte can do it. Say it in Isi so that some people here who haven't got the headphones on, and we don't want distress to be caused. I see two other people are approaching, so we'll wait until they come into the chamber, and then Mr. Korte will speak in Isi and give the warning that is necessary.
Chairperson, maybe a better suggestion is that I can just ask about one or two small other things, so that when the people who think everyone is here, then Mr. Tokota can do the second one.
Okay, you ask the other questions.
Yes,
ask the other questions first, and when we're about to see the slide, then Mr. Tokota will give the warning in
yes.
Isi.
Thank you, Chairperson. General, you remember the discussion we had, I think, somewhere at the beginning of your cross-examination about the simultaneous rollout versus the successive rollout of the barbed wire?
I remember, Chairperson.
Is it actually correct that that insofar as you and I agreed that was a deviation from the plan, that do you acknowledge that actually the plan made a specific point that there should be a rapid deployment of the barbed wire? You remember there was a long discussion between you and I saying, is it true that the simultaneous would be faster than the other one, and there's a bit of a gray area. Now, I'm now asking you that it was a specific part of the plan that the rollout should be rapid.
Correct, Chairperson, based on the fact that that's why it was pre-positioned.
Thank you, yes. In other words, two measures which were going to assist in making it rapid were the pre-positioning as well as the simultaneous rollout so that it doesn't take too long, correct?
The only one that I did not know, or let me say I did not recall, is a simultaneous one, because I thought that the how part will be left to the operational people. But the pre-positioning, it was made to do a rapid deployment.
Sorry. Yes. And in fact, you find that at page 12 of Triple G 12. Page 12, is that? Yes. Page 12, the second bullet, Chairperson. The third bullet refers to what we are discussing now. Six armored vehicles with barbed wire trailers would be positioned between the police line and the protesters for crowd control purposes. The wire would not be deployed, only pre-positioned. This would allow for rapid deployment of the barbed wire when required to cordon off the police's safe area and to protect police assets from any aggressive approaches by the protesters. So there are two issues here. One is the rapidness of the deployment, which you and I have just discussed. But would you agree that also the primary means by which the safe area was to be protected was meant to be barbed wire?
Yes, Chairperson.
It was never envisaged that the safe area would be protected with automatic rifles.
Yes, Chairperson.
Good. And I've already said to you the other day that I'm going to argue that deviation was, as it were, the mother of all the other deviations, the failure to do the rapid rollout. Now, do you accept that there was also a deviation in the sense that Nyala 4 was not meant to go to the crawl, but to go to, is it the west? Yeah, towards the west. Nyala 4, 5, and 6. Oh, let me put it this way. The fact that Nyala 4 went to the crawl was also a deviation. It was not what was planned, correct?
No, Chairperson. I don't know which one you are referring, but there was one where the JOC did give guidance, but the other issue is that the operational people could also perform their work when implementing the plan according to the situations.
No, fair enough. I accept that. But all I'm saying is that, do you know that according to the plan, there was no Nyala that was supposed to go against the crawl?
Correct, Chairperson.
Thank you. Okay, Chairperson, we could repeat the warning.
kukho imifanekiso emanyumnyezi engathi ivuselele amanxeba kubantu abathi babalahlekelwa zizalamane nezizalwane zabo ngalamhla aza kuvezwa apha. Abantu kabaqonda into okubana abanakumelana naloo nto banikwa ithuba lokuba bangathi nyosho baphandle okwethutyana kude kuqitywe loo mfanekiso uzakuboniswa apha.
Thank you, Mr. Dekota. Mr. Dekota has now given the warning in isiXhosa, and anyone wishes to leave, there's a lady, I think, leaving. We will give them a minute before the slide that is going to be shown will in fact be shown.
Thank you, Chairperson. Although the warning was given in such a pure Xhosa that it might require an interpretation.
I think you should insult the people who are in the chamber.
No,
I'm sure they understand pure Xhosa.
no, I'm insulting myself. I didn't understand it, Chairperson.
Well, I can't stop you from doing that, can I?
Yes. Thank you. All right. Can we then play, or rather show exhibit B30, 30?
You have arranged for the particular slide you want shown to be shown, so the operator knows what you want.
Thank you. Thank you. Chairperson, okay, no, actually I failed to do that. To prime them. So maybe I'll also go to something else while Ms. Pillay is assisting. Oh, there you are. It's there.
Looks like we now can see the slides that you are referring to.
Thank you. Chairperson,
As each slide is shown, I think it'd be helpful if you put on record what the exhibit number is.
yes. That, Chairperson, is B30. And I'm just showing this really for the purposes of the commission of situating the questioning. Those are bodies I and K. At this stage, I've not been able to work out which one it is, but I think the one in the black pants is I. And then if you can go to 32. It's the same two bodies, Chairperson, from a different angle. That's scene one. Go back to 30, sorry, 30. The issue here, Chairperson, is that body Mr. Yona, who is identified in Triple H 63
As one of the shotgun victims.
Yes, as number 9, is one of those two. At this stage, we think it's the body with the black pants. But we'll clarify that later. The point is that both of them are lying almost against the crawl. I'm sure we'll get proper measurements at a later stage. But what you can see at the back there is the crawl, Chairperson. Thank you. That's all.
Two shotgun victims, the body is described as I and K.
No. Only I.
Only I.
Only I, yes.
And you say I is Mr. Yona.
Mr. Yona, that's correct. Thank you, Chairperson.
And so his body was found at scene 1.
Scene 1 next
to the kraal.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Chairperson. Okay. Now, General,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry.
Are you going to, in due course, show us a slide with Mr. Mzi, Mr. Bongani Mzi as well?
no, Chairperson, because Mr. Mze died in hospital.
I see.
He was shot there, but he died in hospital. We're still going to try and identify him from
Yes,
the
I see.
pictures.
Now, you've answered my question. We're not going to see any slide about him.
Mr. Mpofu?
Well,
Mpofu, are you going to place on record exactly where in relation to the kraal the body of Mr. Yona was? And I want him to place it on record because of everything
yes,
that's coming.
Chairperson, I could say within a meter.
Yes, of what side? What side of the kraal?
Oh, I see. This would be the eastern side of the kraal. And with the help of Mr. Chaskasen, we'll get proper more.
I think there's an exhibit that was put in, isn't there, showing the bodies and where they were found.
B15. Yes, I'm being referred to B15. Can you please show B15, which might be more helpful? Thank you. Well, I don't think that's more helpful. I think it's better to look at the body itself. Yeah. But in relation to the others,
where is K? Some of the letters aren't too clear.
I is the one. If the three where the notation is inside the kraal, it's one of those.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
I is right. Yes, I see.
Yes.
I is very clear. Yes.
Actually, yeah, it's one of the three closest to the kraal. I think we can say that. Yeah. Go try B16. Yes, well, it's the same. It's a graphical representation of the same thing. Yes. I think we can safely say it's one of the three bodies closest to the kraal, to the eastern side of the kraal. Thank you. Okay, and for the record, I can place on the record, subject to some escape clause.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it the eastern side of the kraal? We have an arrow which I take it is north, is it? On the sketch?
Yes, I see that, Chairperson. Well, let's put it this
Or is
way.
that the cursor?
Yes.
Okay. No, if you assure me it is the eastern side of the kraal, I won't argue with
yes.
you.
Good.
I just thought the arrow indicated something different, but maybe
Yes.
it's a different
Yeah.
arrow.
Thank you, Chairperson. And I was just saying, just for the sake of completion, subject to an escape clause, Mr. Mze, I'm informed, died at scene 2. We will also try but
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Okay, thank you very much. Now, General, you gave some, I suppose, speculation about the source of the fire that might have injured those people or killed those who were killed. Now, if I say to you, okay, if it cannot be shown that there were shotguns that were in the possession of the strikers on that day, but that there were shotguns that were in the possession of the lawman personnel, as I've showed you in Triple H 60.1, and if I tell you that according to the statement, which is Triple H 52, Mr. Kellerman had previously, on his own account, shot a worker, would you have any other speculation as to where the...
Is speculation appropriate in the circumstances?
Well, he's already speculated to you, Chairperson.
No, he didn't speculate. He said that there were certain aspects that had to be investigated, certain avenues, as it were, that had to be explored, try to find out who was responsible for these shotgun wounds which caused the death of these two people. But I don't know that one can take any further than that at this stage.
Well, Okay, okay, Chairperson. I was simply asking if he thinks that those are the only avenues that he gave to you, but if
That's an appropriate question. There were two possibilities we discussed, weren't we? One was a striker or strikers with a shotgun killed these colleagues, presumably by mistake, in the course of the operation. The other one was that it was possibly one of the longman people who was in possession of a shotgun. Is there any other possibility, any other aspect of the matter which could also usefully be explored? He tried to solve the mystery as to who killed Mr. Yorna, for example.
No any other one in my knowledge that could be there, Chairperson.
okay.
Only those two possibilities.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I might tell you we have requested the evidence leaders to ask the investigators to give particular attention to this aspect among a number of others that they're looking at. So we hope there will in due course be definitive evidence on the point.
Thank you, Chairperson. Okay, now, General,
Moving on to another point now.
I'm moving to a new point.
Right, before you do that, Mr. Shorzy, can you assist us? I'm not expecting the assistance now, but you obviously have to get instructions. But in respect of Exhibit 88860.1, will you be able to get a key, as it were, to the abbreviations on this page? For example, just to take one example, we start with 1. There's S1. You know, what does S1 mean? Then there are names of obviously Lonman personnel, I take it, and thereafter there's some other letters. Looks like HSC 574 NW dash, looks like KPL. Now, if you can perhaps ask those instructing you to ascertain what these abbreviations stand for, and then if you can give us a document setting them out, we'd appreciate it very much.
Chair will happily do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Chairperson, while we're at that, could I ask more specifically that one of the aspects when we do get that report should be the fact that the two gentlemen who had shotguns seem to be the two people who were not allocated, or one of them who are not allocated a particular posting, assuming those notations that the chairperson referred to are locations. If you look at number 15 at the other side, Mr. Kellerman and the unfortunately named Mr. P.W. Borta.
I don't know. Unfortunately, he may be proud of those names, so we won't go into that.
We won't go there. But those two are not allocated. Thank you, Mr. Shoes. Now, General, I was saying, once again, I'm not going to spend time on this. I'm going to argue, let me just tell you what I'll argue, and then you can comment. In the same way that I criticized you yesterday for not having given Mr. Matunjo's peace efforts a proper chance, I will also be arguing, and that's a criticism that will be leveled at you personally as a leader, that similarly Bishop Sioka's peace efforts were also brushed aside and not given a chance. Would you agree with that, or disagree, or comment?
Disagree, Chairperson, and I had no knowledge of Bishop Sioka at all.
Okay. You yourself didn't interact with him?
As an overall commander,
On the
yes.
16th? Okay. No, fair enough.
Not only on the 16th, even before that, but as an overall commander, I have never interacted with him. I didn't know about his skills.
According to the evidence, he only arrived on the scene on the 16th. Of course, we know that thereafter he played a very important role in helping to bring about the accord, which was eventually signed. But that's not relevant for what we're busy with at the moment. But he wasn't there, according to his evidence, before the 16th. So it's only his role on the 16th is relevant for the purpose of the question. But you weren't aware of the fact he was there. You did. If he was brushed off, as it's suggested, you weren't the person who did it. So you can't.
Okay, General. I accept that. Now, I want us to go to, this is probably my last topic, another escape topic, another escape clause. I've decided that I'm not going to ask you a lot on Triple E16, which was on the list that I was going to ask you on, because most of the issues I wanted to canvass there will probably be canvassed with Brigadier Khalid. So all I'm going to do is just play. I'm just going to play, maybe let me tell you, there's only one aspect that I want to canvass with you with the videos that I'm going to play. And that aspect is simply to support my argument later that on at least 2 or even 3 occasions, the protesters can be seen walking or crouch walking, if you remember that, past armed policemen without threatening to attack them. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to agree, but you understand. Yeah. So,
I do understand.
yes. So I'm going to show you extracts for the purposes of supporting that argument. Then I'll ask you 1 or 2 questions. Okay. Can we then play Z1?
I take it we're not going to see the whole video, so perhaps you can indicate
yes.
what portion of the video we're going to see.
Yes, I'm sorry, Chairperson, I forgot. I think it's, I'm going to take a guess. It's about 11.29. That's just a short.
I don't think this shows any pictures of people walking in a crouching position.
No, I think they're still looking for a Chairperson. Yeah. Go. Oops. Okay. Yeah, it's from roundabout now, just before the
Roundabout now is?
at 15. Oh, 23 minutes. It's double what I projected. Starting at about 23 minutes. That's
We see people walking past a rock, and just after that.
General, would you agree with the Chairperson's description, but also my addition, which I mentioned to you a couple of days ago, correct?
Yes, Chairperson, I agree.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, let's go to the next video. There are I'm just going to show.
Please indicate to us what they are.
Which one? Yes. It's
when we
Triple J
read the
one-
record, we will be able to find them again if we have to.
That's correct. The Triple J 194 is a set of 71 little extracts. The ones that have been played to the commission before are 194.5 to 15. And I only wanted to show point 12 to 14, please. Okay, actually, just
The first video we saw, of course, was related to the
Yeah.
events of the 13th of August. This one relates to the
16th.
16th of August.
That's correct.
And it indicates, well, you tell us in your words what it
Yes,
indicates.
thank you, Chairperson. In fact, don't even play the video. I think that still picture sort of captures what I wanted to show here. Here, General, what I want to indicate, and I'll ask you one or two questions, is that the crowd that is walking past the big pole is doing so while there are policemen who are outside of the nyalas, and that the crowd is not attacking those policemen but walking in a different direction. It will become clear just now. Okay, you can play. Okay, next one. That would be 194.12. So now we're going to 13. Same crowd. Okay, next one. Thank you. All right. General, would you agree that in all those three extracts, we can see the crowd that is walking slowly, different direction, not towards those policemen or showing any signs of aggression to them?
Yes, Chairperson.
Mission resumes. We understand that you're now ready to proceed, Mr. Mpofu.
Yes.
You, Major General, are still under oath.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. General, yeah. In fairness to you, I was wrong that in your evidence in chief, you only used the word charging, as you said. It's only when I was questioning you more recently that, if you remember, I said to you for there to be a defense, there has to be an attack, and you agreed, and then we had this discussion about whether you saw the attack or not. You remember that?
Correct, Chairperson.
Yes. Okay. So I'm asking you in that context, accepting that you used the word charging, but you'd accept that you were using it in the sense that it was the sign of the attack which provoked the defense, correct?
I was using it in the sense of charging at the police.
Yes, but you were not using it you were using it in the sense of explaining why you took the view that the police were acting in self-defense. In other words, that the charging was part of the attack against which they were defending themselves, correct?
No, Chairperson, I didn't say so. I said they were not. I think the question in which, or the context in which Advocate Ngalwana was putting it, was putting for me to show whether were they being walking or approaching. He even used the word, were they approaching or, then I said they were in speed and I used the word charging.
Okay, no, then maybe we're talking about two different places where you use that word. I'm talking about where you use that word to explain why you concluded that the police were acting in self-defense. Do you understand?
I said I was told that they were acting in self-defense.
Yes, and what they were defending themselves against was the attack which manifested itself in the charging, according to that theory. I'm not saying it's your theory, according to what you were told, correct?
I might not confirm. I'm not in a position to confirm it, Chairperson, but
okay, well, then
as I'm saying it, in my understanding how it was the showing of the movements as I've explained.
Yes, but it was those movements is what they were defending themselves against when they shot the people, correct?
No, Chairperson, I'm not in a position to confirm that.
So you are not able to link the charging with the self-defense?
I'm not linking the charging with the attack.
Okay,
And
but
then that, I leave it to those that were there.
that's fine. Are you linking the charging with the self-defense?
Chairperson, I'm linking it with the attack because that is not the word that I use.
Oh, okay. So now you're linking it with the attack. Okay, that's where I want us to be. All right. Now, the reason I'm saying this, General, I'm not being funny, is because this is what you said at page 11576. And I've already considered that you used the word charging and not the word I ascribed to you wrongly, which was attack. But this is the context in which you used it. You said, Chairperson, on the 16th, I'm sorry, I'm reading against line 12, Chairperson. Chairperson, on the 16th, I was not on the scene, but the first scene, because the second scene I might not be in a position to say on. The first scene, when I looked at the video, I saw that there was a group charging at the police, Chairperson, and also I could attribute it to private or self-defense. But what happened, what is now known as scene 2, I'm not in a position to comment. Do you now understand the context in which you gave that answer? General?
I hear the way in which you put it, but
Yeah. No, it's not me. You put it like that. I'm quoting you. Do you accept that?
I do accept what I said there.
Yes. Now, all I'm saying is that in this passage at least, you were linking the charging to the question of self-defense. And I accept that it's my word to say, therefore, from this, the charging must have then been part of the attack against which the people were self-defending themselves or privately defending others. You understand?
My putting in that word in that context, it was to say this is what I was informed, and it's not coming from me. What came from me there is the charging which I saw from the video, but the first sentences and even the explanation is very clear that I was not there. Yeah. And that is what I'm told that contributed to the self-defense.
Yes. No, accept. A, I accept you are not there. B, I accept that you said you saw all this on video. But all I'm saying is to you is you were giving the evidence of the charging in the same breath as you were talking about the self-defense, because the charging must have contributed to what triggered the defense. Do you accept that?
Advocate, the charging is the one that I saw, but the self-defense, I said I'm told, because I was not on the scene.
Okay, I'll leave it to argument. That's not what you said, for the record. You said, when I looked at the video, I saw that there was a group charging at the police chairperson, that also I could attribute it to private or self-defense. But I don't know what happened at scene 2. That's what you said. But I'm not going to pursue it any further.
Anyway, what importance, if any, to be attributed to what you will contend is a conflict in evidence is something we look at later.
Thank you, Chairperson. Now, General, while we're still on this story of charging, if I may just show you then the clip that I was hoping would be on your video was not, or rather the portion of the crowd was not on your video. We've just found it in AAA7. It's the same series. It's not long. I just want you to have a look at it.
Want a warning to given again?
Yes, Chairperson, just in case. I'll probably stop it before it gets gruesome, but in case I miss the point, I think let's give the warning.
We've been told that we're going to see a video clip which will contain scenes which may cause distress and pain, actually, to some of the people present in the chamber if their loved ones or family members are depicted. And so I'll ask that this clip not be shown until a minute has elapsed from the time that I stop speaking, so those who wish to leave the chamber will have an opportunity to do so.
Oh. And while that is happening, General, I almost forgot the real reason why we had to deal with this and you had to look at the video. The original question that I had asked you was whether you agreed that the shooting followed almost immediately after the charging. Now that you've seen the video, are you able to answer that question? In other words, after the charging, quote unquote, that you referred to, which I call walking, but let's not debate that now, that the shooting happened almost immediately after what you describe as the charging. That's all I want to know.
Yes, Chairperson.
Now, and the reason I was asking you that question was because, and I'm giving you an opportunity to explain once again because I'm going to criticize you around it. If you accept that these two things happened within a split second of each other, how do you explain your evidence that while you were on the ground, you had on the radio someone saying the protesters are attacking, let's use that word for now, might not be the real word that was, or advancing, I think that's the word that was used. The protesters are advancing towards the TRT line. You remember your evidence is that you heard that while you were still on the ground, not when you are in the air.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yeah. Now, if the two things happened within a split second of each other, how could you hear the one and not the other? In other words, while you were still on the ground, you heard they are going towards the TRT line, which for now we'll call it the charging, and which must have been followed immediately with the killing in self-defense, allegedly.
Asking why he did not hear the gunshots, is that what
No.
No. A report of the killing.
Yes. Now I'm saying that according, this is a long story which doesn't concern you. According to Vermaak, at least, when he witnessed the people walking towards the police, and then he reported bodies down, or something to that nature.
The actual words, as recorded in the police occurrence book, FF25,
45.
page 25, entry 1017, is as follows. Situation 1555, situation report. Papa 1 reporting the group are moving to TRT members, and they try to attack them. Papa 1 reporting that the people are moving around and some are down. That's what he heard.
That's correct. Yes. You understand that? That in terms of the report, that's almost said in the same breath, and that is in line with what you said or what we saw, that the so-called charging and the shooting happened almost back to back, if I can use that expression. Now, what I'm saying in respect of what the chairperson has just read from that report, and your evidence that the part about the TRT line approach happened while you were still on the ground. Can you explain, if you may, why the bodies down part seems, according to your story, to have happened 20 minutes later?
Sure that he said that they happened 20 minutes later.
Okay.
Perhaps you could reformulate.
Okay, yes, no, that last part, sorry, General. Put it this way, whatever the difference in minutes, but according to you, the one thing happened while you were on the ground and the other happened while you were on air. I can't put it stronger than that.
Chairperson, I did explain that there was no any other indication on the radio that I had that people were killed immediately thereafter, after what we see on the video. And I did explain to the commission that when I heard that some of the bodies are down, is then that I went to the joke. And that the bodies are down, it didn't happen, it was not said immediately after the shooting. What I see with the shooting, it's also a difference in terms of the reporting, because I was relying on the radio. And I think that is my evidence. But by the time when I was asked, it was not linked up with that video.
All right. No, of course, you hadn't even seen the video then. Yeah. All I'm saying is that according to your evidence, the one incident, it's not an incident, I've just demonstrated to you that these things happened within a split second of each other. And the chairperson has also read to you a report that seems to talk to them about them almost at the same time. Now I'm saying, according to your evidence, and I want you to explain to us if you can, according to your evidence, the one part of that report happened while you were on the ground, another part happened while you were in the air. So those two things don't tally. If you have no explanation, you have no explanation. But do you understand my problem?
My answer is still the same, that what you see on the video, that's not what was reported at the same time. Because to say the bodies are down, it was not said immediately after the shooting.
All right. Okay, maybe we'll deal with Papa 1 on that one. Okay, now this is really the last one. Your evidence is that, we've already gone through this. Your evidence is that Mr. Matunjwa gave an undertaking about the laying down of arms the following morning. I'm going to argue that your evidence in that regard should not be believed, and so I want to again to give you a chance to contradict me. Firstly, because Mr. Matunjwa himself does not put it as high as an undertaking, but more importantly, General Annandale also says it was not an undertaking. So if it was just you against Mr. Matunjwa, we would say, well, we'll see in the end who the commission will believe. But the fact that General Annandale, who effectively was on your side, also says that it was not an undertaking. He wouldn't put it as high as that. I will argue should support that my contention that your evidence on that aspect should not be believed. Do you have any comment?
I have showed the commission, according to G4, the words that were uttered by Mr. Matunjwa himself. And even where he said I saluted him, which I denied, but I did use the word, I am impressed. So that to me showed that he believed that as a leader, the people will listen to him and they will lay down their weapons.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm prepared to even accept that. So it was still subject to the people accepting whatever he was going to say to them, even on that version that you are now giving us, correct?
He said he has to go there tomorrow. And that was my belief. I believe in him as a leader. And I even indicated that when we were there, the sharing of the crowd, the acceptance of the crowd of him could also make that belief, which I was not there, which I was there, and General Erendale was not there. But what I'm saying is that in terms of what was there, I also had a belief. Hence, in the G4, I said, I am impressed. After I've been played even a devil's advocate with him, I said, what if they cannot? And he gave me many possibilities of that could not even, must not think about that. He even said, don't think about negativity at this stage.
Yes, no, so he was optimistic. But the point I'm making is this, that you see, the reason I'm putting this to you now is because at first I would have been more inclined to say, as between you and General Annandale, you'd be in a better position because you could understand the language that when Mr. Matunja was having the exchange with the workers. But that point is eliminated because your evidence is that you couldn't hear, it was noisy, and so on. So you are not in any better position than General Annandale to have read from what Mr. Matunja was saying as to whether it was an undertaking or not. And he says it was not an undertaking. Understand where I'm coming from, even if you don't agree.
No, I do understand. But what I'm saying is that is not only the point where I firstly met Mr. Matunja. Me, in terms of what I was talking to him about, it was the first time. Because from the first time when I met him, he was already on the positive to say that they must go to the mountain. General Edendale was not there. But even if after I have played me, it's not General Edendale who played the devil's advocate. It's me. And I even said, I am impressed.
Yes, thank you. And General Annandale was there, was present.
All the time, Chairperson.
Good. So, all right. Last question. It didn't occur to you, strange, let's assume you took this as an undertaking for the purposes of this question. Did it seem to you strange that the workers would say, we're making an undertaking to lay down the arms tomorrow at 9, but we'll come at 9 tomorrow, just for the sake of laying down the arms? I mean, if it was such a firm undertaking to lay down the arms, they would have laid the arms there and then. You can't go and sleep and wake up for the sake of laying down the arms. If it didn't occur to you, it didn't. But I'm just saying, you didn't find that strange?
Chairperson, I need the clarity of the question. Where should I actually comment? About not happening or what?
No, what Mr. Mpofu is suggesting to you is that you shouldn't really have believed Matunjwa when he said that they were going to come the next morning at 9 and lay down their arms, because it was a strange proposition. Because if they had their arms there on the Wednesday night and they were going to lay down their arms, what Mr. Mpofu suggests to you is the most sensible thing and the most logical thing would be for them to have laid down their arms then and there on the Wednesday evening. The story that they would go home with their arms and then go to sleep and then stand up the next morning and come back, especially to the Kopi, to put their arms down at 9 o'clock on the Thursday morning, that's rather an unlikely story. That's what Mr. Mpofu says. And he says, didn't you see it like that and realize that Matunjwa's confidence that he could get them to lay down their arms the next day was probably mistaken? I think that's basically your point. That's what he says to you. Did you not see it that way? And what's your answer to that?
No, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. I have nothing further.
Mr. Masbedi, you indicated to me...
So that might have been a little bit premature. Just give me 1 second. Chairperson, I think what I was going to do was to put certain things, but I think in the course of my cross-examination, what I wanted to put, I've already put and then asked the questions. So I'll take it.
You're satisfied you put to the witness what you wanted to put?
Yes, Chairperson. Thank
you. Mr. Matabedi, you came to see me in chambers to tell me that you had you indicated yesterday to the evidence leaders that you would need about 3 hours to prepare for re-examination. And this was on the assumption that Mr. Mpofu was going to end was going to end earlier than he in fact did. Now, normally counsel isn't given time to prepare for re-examination, but you indicated also to me in chambers there's special reasons why this should be allowed on this occasion. Can you perhaps just state them for the record?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I do not seek to create a precedent, but I'm asking for an indulgence. During the better part of the proceedings that dealt with the evidence of the general, I was not involved therein. On that basis, I indicated yesterday that I would ask for indulgence for a period of 3 hours together with the team to finalize and prepare for re-examination of the witness. And we thought that Mr. Mpofu would be done by tea this morning. That would have given us an opportunity to have that indulgence of 3 hours. But unfortunately, because things being beyond my colleague's control, he could not finish within the time that I thought he would. And it is on this basis that I'm asking for this matter to be postponed to Thursday to enable the team to prepare for the re-examination of this witness. I think it will also give us as an opportunity to shorten the proceedings, not to deal with aspects that have already been covered. Now, taking into account that tomorrow we are not sitting. That's the application, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Well, if I were to give you the 3 hours you asked for, you'd only be able to start re-examining at 3:30 this afternoon. It's now being 12:30. So there's no point in that. The only question is whether you should be given time at all. And I want to make it clear that I'm not normally going to give counsel time to prepare for re-examination. Counsel must, as cross-examination proceeds, make notes and be ready to re-examine immediately. But in the special circumstances to which you have referred, your position coming in late, most of the evidence having been given by the witness when you weren't here, in the special circumstances, I'm prepared to give you an indulgence, but other counsel mustn't assume, and you mustn't even assume in the case of future witnesses, that I'll be prepared to give the indulgence again. But any future witness you will have been here for when the witness is given evidence. And so in the special circumstances, without creating a precedent, I'll give you the indulgence you seek, and we will adjourn now until 9 o'clock on Thursday morning.
Chairperson?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
You want to appeal against the...
No. It's unrelated. Let my colleague finish. I just wanted to...
I think he has finished. I've already granted his application.
Thank you. And
but with a strong caveat that it's not a precedent.
Yes. No, Chairperson, I'm not getting involved. I think he was just about to thank the Commission. Chairperson, just while we're here, I forgot I wanted to make this announcement in the morning. As we had been giving updates to the Commission, the situation regarding the funding application is that the judge has indicated that he would hear the application for leave to appeal tomorrow, which fortunately is the day when we're not sitting here. So we're going to be attending to that. What we have done is, since we had launched an application in terms of Rule 4911, which is not opposed, really.
For those in the chamber and who are following on the World Wide Web, an application under 4911 is an application for the judgment to be put into effect despite the fact that there's an appeal.
There's an appeal. That's correct, Chairperson. Now, that application to make the judgment operational, we have requested the judge that it should be heard simultaneously with the application for leave to appeal tomorrow. So what I propose, what I'm going to say in court tomorrow would be that we start with the application for leave to appeal, because the other application would otherwise, if leave to appeal is refused, the other application will become of academic relevance. And so then we will report on Thursday, Chairperson, of the outcome. But the situation as it is now is that tomorrow both applications will be heard, and we'll have 2 court orders or 1 composite court order in respect to that.
Thank you for telling us that. Thank you for keeping us up to date with what's happening. Thank you. On that basis, then, we will adjourn until Thursday morning. We can't sit tomorrow because the chamber is required by our hosts, the municipality, for a committee meeting. That's why we will resume, however, on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock.